Well, hello, my friends. It's when we feel like the clock. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, as you know, and you gotta know who this is. This is
Yep.
Ranj from Capper's Comparison.
How you doing?
Everybody in the land knows you now.
Yeah.
You're getting subscribers just falling on your lap
It's
because
picking
you're.
up a little bit. It's picking up. I've had some. My first negative comments came last week,
Oh
uh,
my.
but it's all right. It's people. John from Rick's Picks he talked me down. I was in a little bit of a. I had a little tissy fit on because somebody called me an effing jerk.
Oh,
but doesn't matter. They took it off. Whatever.
no, well, I
John
mean,
said that I'm doing my job right. Rick's Picks. He said you're doing your job right. You're starting to get haters because that means
yes,
you're doing it right because people are jealous.
absolutely. Anybody, I know all about the haters. Have you seen my content?
And you know what? Like John said, he's like, it all helps out with the algorithm anyway. Even the thumbs down, that's still people viewing your
We
video.
love you, thumbs downers. You guys are awesome too.
Yeah,
Express yourself. That's what I
it
say.
counts. It counts. That is
Be
it's counts.
vulnerable. Let us know. Spread your get your anchor out. That's what we
Uh,
say. Okay. So that's good. You got your first
I
negative
see you've been
comment after
busy
how
with
long?
off the wall hockey, best bet, and all sorts.
Yeah.
I love them.
Jamie
Great.
Basco.
Yeah.
Get David Staples from Edmonton, from the Edmonton Journal, which is a big newspaper here where I live. He has promised me he's going to do one with me next month.
Oh,
I couldn't
sweet.
believe it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
schedule that up.
And anybody out there, if you want to do something like this, like I'll take anybody. Look, I take Ranch. I'm kidding. Kidding, kidding,
We're
kidding,
running out
kidding.
of teams, though. You're gonna have to start doing AHL. I don't know what
Ranch,
you're gonna do.
Ranch is the reason why I'm getting guys like Jamie Basco and all that. He's freaking awesome, man. And if you haven't seen his channel yet, I don't know where you've been under a rock. Maybe you had the corona, but it's time to wake up and go check it out. It's great. I love it. Okay, we better get on. We did several together for a while there, and then you were so good I got busy with all these other guys, but we're back again.
Yeah.
We did the Rangers and
Canes.
Edmonton and what's that?
We're doing the Canes today.
We're doing the Hurricanes. My one of my favorite teams, Philadelphia and the Hurricanes are my two favorite teams in the East, so I'm glad we're doing this today. Uh, the way we go about doing it is we look at contracts, who's the best, who's the worst. Usually we talk about hockey guy for a while because we both love him,
Yeah.
and like some of the things that maybe they'll do in the off season and how they may do in the playoffs. Let's do it that.
Yeah. All right.
So
Let's get right into it. Now they only have two forwards that are UFA RFA 2020. The first one, Justin Williams. He's the veteran, 38 years old.
yeah,
He's a
I
UF unrestricted free agent 2020.
I love this guy. He's one of my favorite players that I ever played the game. He is like the epitome of what you call a character player. Put up some good points in his career. I'm not going to put it up here, but he did. He had some 30-goal seasons, but the guy does everything, and he's won 3 cups. He's never won a major regular season award. He has gone to the All-Star game a couple of times, but he wins a Conn Smythe trophy
Didn't you say like 2014? Yeah, 2014 he was MVP or something.
with
Or
the LA Kings.
yeah,
And
that's
I've heard interview after interview after interview with players that have played with this guy that just say he's the most amazing person they've ever met. I guess he is just incredible for teams in every way, for encouragement and personal life and everything. The guy is insane. He's amazing.
you think
And,
he's still got it in him though? I mean, he only played 20 games last season, but he did score eight goals in that 20 games.
for a
So
38-year-old dude, my
right,
gosh, he is just a rock, man. Gives everything he's got all the time. He's never been a fast skater. I mean, he's never been. There's nothing of his skill set that is like elite, but his the way he plays is elite. Like the way his leadership and everything. Do I think he's? I'm never gonna bet against Justin. I don't know what he's going to do. Last year, he only played half the season, hung out at home, decided to come out one day and play 20 games and score 8 goals. Jeez.
Right.
That's pretty impressive stuff. The guy he's like a comic book character. He's just insane.
So you think Carolina's going to give him a little bit to stay
Carolina,
around,
if he wants to play a
yeah.
full season, they'll give him $1 million or whatever. And yeah, come on back. We'll have you. What the hell? Why not? Have a great leader like that in your room, for sure.
Okay, the only other forward that's he's a restricted free agent 2020, Warren Fogle.
Mm-hmm. Warren Fogle.
He's young.
He's young. He's
all right.
Third liner.
Yeah.
He's been getting better and better points wise every year he's played. He's kind of reminds me of Justin Williams in a lot of ways. But, I mean, never probably going to be the same offensive player. But he did have 30 points in 68 games last year. He's got room for growth. I think that point production last year will give him probably somewhere around 2.5. Maybe he might be able to push it closer to 3 million for a couple of years, and they'll see how he goes. It's a bridge contract, so maybe not even that much. Maybe something like 2 million for 3 years. A bridge contract, by the way, is kind of what we call a show me contract. We'll give you like 2 or 3 years to see what kind of a player you're going to turn out to be. If you can get your offense up, it can pay off huge for you, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if he wants to take a long-term contract here, he could, but he's probably going to max out about 2.5 million for 6 or 7 years, and so you're kind of betting on yourself. If he can produce 40, 50 point seasons, he's going to lose out on a lot of money doing that. So they'll probably give him a 2 or 3 year contract for 2 million, somewhere around there. And if he pulls out the 50-year seasons, then he could be looking at a $5-6 million contract after that. But they will definitely sign him. They have the cap space to do it. I believe they have. What do they got? Oh, they only have 12 million next year. But they don't really have, like you said,
yeah,
many people.
That's the only 2 forwards we just named them. That everybody else is staying on the team.
That's right. Yeah. So
their team is pretty put together pretty well. I mean, yeah. I don't see any spots that's really lacking. So let's move on to the defense. You ready?
I
am. Joel Edmondson. He's a UFA 2020.
Yeah, I think they're going to give that spot to Hayden Fleury next year. I think Joel Edmondson, at 26 years old, he might go for the money next year. There might be some teams out there that might give him the $4 million, like Jake Gardner, for a long-term contract. And they have some, we're going to talk about their prospects later, but a guy like Jake Bean that they need to make room for. There was another one, maybe Roland McCowan may get a shot. So they got some guys that can take that spot, and I think they're going to let him go.
Okay. How about Trevor Van Riemsdyk?
Trevor Van Riemsdyk. It's going to be between Joel Edmondson and Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
One they're going to keep and one they're going to let go?
Probably. I think Trevor's the one they're going to keep, simply because they can sign him for about what he was already making, and he'll be happy with that.
2.3.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. Finally, there's a guy injured. We'll get to him, but Hayden Fleury. He's an RFA 2020.
Yeah, Hayden Fleury. They're going to have to sign him up. They don't have to pay him a lot. He's been a slow burn, is what we like to call it. He's been improving every year since he got drafted. Last year, he really showed flashes of a guy that's going to be able to play in this league for sure. So I think they can give him Trevor Van Riemsdyk money for a couple of years, maybe even a little less than that. And Hayden will probably be happy with that.
I heard Seattle. He's likely to get picked for Seattle's expansion in 2021 anyway.
It's possible. It's possible. So they can give him a year or two, and they've got a lot of draft picks coming up as well. They've really set themselves up well. They may be able to keep Hayden by offering the expansion team like a second round draft pick next year to like not touch him and take somebody else instead. I think they would like to do that because Hayden really is a solid looking player. So they may be able to do that and say, hey, why don't you take a guy like Ryan Dzingel instead or something like that, and we'll give you a second rounder.
Well, there's also the last guy, unrestricted free agent 2020, Sammy Vatanen.
Yeah,
he's a defender too. So, and he's at $2.4 million. What do you think's going to happen with him?
I think he's going to get a big pay raise.
Oh, you think they're going to keep him?
I think Sammy's going to be not from them. I think Sammy's going to get about $5 million on the open market.
Oh, really?
I think that'll be a little more steep than they want to go. So, like Trevor Van Riemsdyk and Joel Edmondson, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with those two guys. They may lose all of these guys, and then they may have to go on the market themselves to fill out some spots. But something tells me they're going to keep Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Call it a hunch. But Sammy Vatanen, I know they like him a lot, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get offered $5 million a year, like Brady Shea type money. And I'm just not sure that that he's going to want to do that on a team where he'll be exposed in the draft, in the expansion draft. He'll probably want to go to a team where he's secure in a top 3 role and won't have to worry about then going to Seattle, which just makes sense because moving your family around, why would you want to do that if you don't have to, right?
Right. That's all the way across country too. I mean,
one thing we haven't talked about here is the reason why I'm a Carolina fan is I'm a big fan of Tom Dundon. He's the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. He came up with this idea of the surge that they do after their games, and the league went like the NHL is so freaking old school and tradition bullshit. I think it's bullshit. Sorry out there if you don't, but you're wrong. Okay. But he came up with it was awesome. They would do like this bowling thing where they'd set up the pins and the player would go down the ice, and after they won and slide, and they would all fall down like they got hit by a bowling ball, and just all kinds of. And check it out on the YouTube. It's killer.
And who said they're a bunch of jerks for that?
Don Cherry. Because of this celebration, because Don Cherry of his ilk, he's like this old school Canadian commentator guy, hockey personality, that thinks that you're not supposed to celebrate, you're supposed to act all cool and all that crap. And he thinks if you celebrate, you're acting like a jerk. So we called them a bunch of jerks. So what did they do? They called themselves the Jerks. Screw you, Mr. Cherry. I thought it was great.
That is great.
There's something else that Tom Dundon does, and he's open about it. He says he doesn't pay his general managers very well. It's well known that he doesn't but he takes care of them. How he takes care of them, I have no idea. But if any player, he's honest with any player. Like, for instance, what's happening with Sammy Vatanen, he'll bring him in and say, hey, buddy, what do you want to do? Because we're probably going to have to let you go to the Seattle franchise. We're not going to be able to protect you. What would you like to do for your family? We'll do everything we can for you here, but he'll be really honest with them. And then Sammy will probably say, I have an opportunity to go to another team, and he'll be like, good, you do what's best for you. And that's what he tells all of his team. I want you to do what's best for you. Never think you have to stay here. If you ever want to go somewhere, I will trade you for sure, because I don't want anybody to be here
if they don't want to.
Yeah, right. I want people to take care of themselves. If I wasn't wanting you to take care of yourself, I wouldn't be building a team here. So I love him for that reason. He's fantastic that way. Anyways, I wanted to give him some props. So
okay. Well, we only got on a hockey guy, he picked 4 rookies to rookie watch. So we'll just go through them quick, and we'll be done with this. So Morgan Geekie, He's a forward center, right winger. He was one of the ones that hockey guys said could potentially come up and fulfill a position of maybe a Warren Fogle or something, or maybe Justin Williams. I don't know.
Yeah. He needs to gain some weight. He's 6'2", 168. He needs to gain about another 20 pounds.
I think he played some games last year. Yeah, he did. He played two games. He had 3 goals.
Yeah. It's the concern is over the long haul, but I think he'll be okay. He's going to have a year to build up some muscle. He got 42 points in 55 games, and when they called him up, he looked absolutely fantastic. They're going to give him every chance next year to make this roster, and my inkling is he's going to make it fairly handily. He's going to make it fairly handily. So, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I agree with him on that.
Well, another one, another winger that he mentioned was the German prospect Dominic Bach.
Yeah.
Is it Bach? Bach? What is it? B-O-K-K.
Bach. I've heard it Bach, so it's probably right. Yeah, they got him from St. Louis.
He's young, 20 years old.
Yeah, they traded. His name escapes me now. A defenseman for him. He's not going to be ready for a bit yet.
No.
He's an interesting prospect though. He put up some good points last year in the minor or in Germany. He's almost a point-a-game player in Germany. He'll come over, play for Charlotte, see how he does. He's a big boy, solid. I was actually really surprised that St. Louis gave him up. It was a nice pickup, but he won't be playing next year.
And then who you mentioned earlier, Jake Bean, defenseman.
Yeah. He's been stewing down in the minors for a while. He's going to get a really good shot next year to show what he can do. He's been putting up some pretty decent numbers in the minors. I believe something like 48 points in 59 games last year with 10 goals. That's solid enough. And he's been really building up his strength down there. 6'1", getting close to 200. He's ready can be. They will likely give him a darn good shot to play. I think he'll likely make it. Nice draft pick. They've been really good at picking draft. They've been drafting actually Carolina.
Okay, and finally, the hockey guy always throws a goalie in there too. The rookie goalie is Alex Nedeljkovic, and you mentioned before the show when we were talking that they're going to be needing a goalie in Carolina. So I don't know if he can fulfill the job, but right now, Mrazek and Reimer, I mean, they can do better.
Reimer and Mrazek,
they
got to do better. And I mentioned before that I think they're going to be looking towards Lehner in Vegas. I think they'll offer him about $5 million a year for 5 or 6 years. I think I just got this gut feeling that Dundon's going to love a guy like him. He's a
free agent.
He's a free agent. He's one of the best. I've been celebrating him for a very long time. Actually, when he was in Buffalo, I was like, don't give up on Lehner. He's just got to get his head straight, and he'll be fine. I didn't know at the time that he was actually having depression issues and had to go to a psychologist. I had no idea, but I knew his head wasn't quite there. But physically, he had all the tools, and I had no idea. Nobody did actually. It didn't come out till the end of the next year, and he went to a psychiatrist and got himself better. To an extent, apparently, in the room, he's a wingnut, man. He's like really out there.
Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, sort of like
same
Dougie
thing about him.
But Dougie Hamilton is one of these guys that is he's funny, he's goofy, and he doesn't take things seriously ever. And it drives coaches crazy. Where Lehner is like, can just go off sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know where he is.
I know.
But I have
like
a feeling
personally.
that Dundon wants characters like that on his team. He likes to build his team with characters like that. I think they're going to sign him and then maybe trade Mrazek or Reimer or whatever if they can.
You don't think that the kid Alex Nedeljkovic, you don't think he's ready to come up to fill the
He'll
shoes?
fight for a job if he can wrestle it away from Reimer, then he will. I think it'll be Reimer that they'll keep and Mrazek that they'll let go. And because Mrazek can probably has a little trade value at 28 years old. Somebody out there will take him for $3 million to be a backup, and then they can expose Reimer at the when Seattle comes knocking on the door. If he won't be taken, they'll do something else with him. Nedeljkovic will play probably not next year, but the year after.
What about this Anton Forsberg? I've heard that name.
Yeah, he started in Columbus, went to Chicago. Every time he gets a chance in the NHL, he puts up some decent numbers in the AHL. Every time he gets a chance in the NHL, he freezes. I think he's got anxiety issues or something. Like he just always freezes. They brought him. Do you remember last year when
the Zamboni guy?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking about that.
Reimer and Mrazek both went down with injury, and they brought Forsberg and Nedeljkovic or whatever, however you want to say it. They brought him up. Forsberg played one good game, not bad, and then the next game he sucked, and then like they were going back and forth. Then Nedeljkovic played, then Forsberg played and sucked, and then Nedeljkovic played every game after that. And I have a feeling Forsberg was giving off these vibes that he didn't want to play because I think he has terrible anxiety. I could be wrong, but my gut is that he has some anxiety issues.
Huh. Okay.
We'll see.
That wraps it up. That's everything.
Yeah.
That Forsberg thing, that was an extra. I just threw that in there. Unless you want to talk about Ryan Suzuki.
He's an interesting prospect, but really what I would like to talk about is if they do get a guy like Lehner next year, like I'm saying, this is a team that could be considered a cup contender. We didn't talk about Andrei Svechnikov, but this kid is for real. He is going to be a beast, possibly 90 to 100 point player. He's probably got at least one 40-goal season in him, I say more. And with Aho, who's one of the best two-way centers already in the league, and he's only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 next year. And the supporting cast of Stahl, Teravainen, Niederreiter, Vincent Trocheck, who they picked up from Florida. I'm going to be really interested to see what happened with Vincent Trocheck there. It seemed to me that Joel Quenneville didn't like this guy. And for some reason, ownership and management soured on him. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he brings next year in a full season. No. But Martin Necas, remember that guy? He looks like he's going to be one heck of a winger or center. They could play him on both lines, which gives them a whole lot of depth. Dougie Hamilton, one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. Jacob Slavin, probably the most underrated defenseman in the league.
We didn't do the best and worst.
Yes, we didn't. So we'll finish with that. Jacob Slavin it's got to be top 5 best contracts in the league.
Yeah.
Number one.
He's worth at least $8 million, and he's getting
at least $8 million, and he's only getting 5 for the next 6 years. By the end of his contract, he's going to be making peanuts compared to the rest of the league. And he's only 26 years old. Absolutely unbelievable. So Brady, Shea, Gardner, this team is set for some serious playoff runs. And I'm really excited for Carolina fans to be able to have this kind of a team to watch for the next little while. Hopefully this brings an excitement to that city because we need teams like Carolina. If the NHL is going to compete with the NFL and baseball in any way, Arizona, Carolina, Florida, these teams have to succeed. So I'm really rooting for them. Well, my friend, like usual, you did a fantastic job. You're friggin' awesome. check out Ranj's channel, as you said. Give me a like and a subscribe. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Share this around with your friends. I wouldn't mind
Nora.
getting more than 25 views. Nora, you want to Perlo dance them out, Nora?
Yeah, remember the Perlo dance?
Let's Perlo dance. Perlo
There it
dance.
is.
Perlo dance.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.